Hello and welcome to another episode of Making Chips, brought to you by Sierra Steel Guitars. I'm Ross Schaefer, your host. It's been a long time, but during these days of coronavirus that has us all in its grips, I wanted to reach out, say hi, give you another video, and let you know we're getting rid of this whole headless thing I've been on. So now you get all of me. Today, we're making roller nuts. But really, we're just turning big pieces of aluminum into little pieces of aluminum metal. In this case, it's called a nut roller. It goes on the headstock of the guitar right here, and the string goes over it into the tuner. Now, we use a roller here because we want, when you stretch or detension a string with your pedals or levers, we want that tiny micro bit of movement to roll over the nut instead of just scraping over the nut if it didn't have a roller. As you can see, we've got all these different sizes of grooves. What is that for? What are they for? Well, if you just lay all those strings on top of a flat nut so they're all resting at the same point, you end up with a very uneven plane on the top, and it ends up that the bar really, if you just lay the bar on there, it's not going to have contact with every string. Some of them are going to have no contact or barely any contact, in which case they're going to buzz. So to correct that, make it a little bit easier to play up there at the tight end of the strings by the nut, we take these groovy little, get it, groovy little rollers like that, and we cut a V into them at differing depths so that we end up with a pretty common plane for the top of the strings. That way, the bar rests on there pretty flat. You don't have to use big muscles to push your bar down and keep strings from buzzing. That's what we're doing today. We're doing nut rollers, and we're doing a lot of them. We've got all these sizes. And I'm making a batch so I don't have to mess with them for a little while. This is a big deal because I used to do it on the manual machine. And let me tell you, that's way more hassle to do. So we've got it set up here on the lathe. And yes, you guessed it, it's a Pez part! We got it set up to make 4 of them, so let's check it out. It's a little harder to get a video shot of a lathe because there's coolant spraying all over the place. This door really needs to stay shut for safety reasons. So I'm going to run a cycle dry so you can see everything that's going on, but don't worry, no drills or tools were harmed in this exercise. I've actually pre-drilled and reamed the hole in the center so that I'm not going to hurt the tools very much by running them dry. We're making 4 parts. After the first part is, the groove is cut, I got to stop the machine, check that I've got the dimensions I want, and then it'll go on and cut 4 more parts, or 4 parts total. Here we go. We're facing the material off there. And now we're coming in and we're center drilling, just so we get a nice straight hole start for the drill. The drill comes in, and you guys have heard the terminology peck drill before. Well, there it is again. We're just taking little tiny pecks. It's a small drill, so we don't want to pack it up with chips, which would make it break. And then, because I want a pretty precise hole in there, I come in with the reamer and ream that hole just a few thousandths out to the size that I want it. Now we're just cutting the OD for all the rollers. And yes, that's a nice little squeal. Now we're going to come in and we're going to cut the groove. We do that in 2 passes, and this is a pretty deep one. This is for a 56 thousandth string. And it stops there. And I get in here and we do our little QC check. So I'm checking two things. I'm checking the outside diameter of the roller, and I'm checking the dimension of the roller plus the string sitting in the roller. Ideally, I want the string sitting 6/1000ths proud of the 1/2 inch roller. So first we're going to check to see that this is a 1/2 inch, and that's pretty close, a 1/10 under or so maybe, well within tolerance. Then I'm going to put the string in here. This is a little tricky to measure. And we lay it right there, and we want it laying 6/1000ths. There it is, that same 1/10 off or so, but 6/1000ths on top of the 1/2 inch diameter roller. All the other strings have that same 6/1000ths offset from the top of the roller, so that's going to make for a pretty even surface for the bar to lay on. Let's finish the rest of these parts. So we just parted off the first one that I checked, and we're center drilling the next one. And we're doing the profile again. And now we're going to come in and we're going to pez off another part. There goes number 2, and I keep forgetting to shut the coolant off. But you'll get the idea here. There's the groove. Pretty groovy, huh? Oh. And we part it off again, and on, and there's one more part to go. And our 4 parts are done. They're laying there in the bottom. I tried to get my little parts catcher to work, but they fly all over the place, so I just sort them out when they come spitting out the end of this machine. There you have it. Nut roller is complete. This is actually the last size I needed to make, so this job is almost done. Thanks a lot for joining us for this latest episode of Making Chips. I hope it's something you can enjoy while you're staying at home. You are staying at home, right? Stay safe, stay well. See you next time.